Radio Row here, Super Bowl 58, Nathan Malafa, commander and leader of the Thunderbirds. And it's got to be a pretty cool experience to fly over the stadium. I know everyone from being at these games is looking up, waiting for that moment. You flew a couple test runs today, you said. Tell me about those. How did those go?
Yeah, they went very well. We battled some weather, so we had to pick our way through some of the clouds. But it's kind of amazing. I mean, it's actually a surreal feeling when you're flying over the strip of Las Vegas with five of your closest friends at 500 miles an hour through all the bumps and everything that it's going to deliver, and try and be exactly on time, on target, on altitude to make sure that we're putting on display and demonstrating what the Air Force can do.
And I think I heard this right. I mean, it is precise to the point of you are trying to get there at a certain point in the anthem, right? Like it's that well timed
to the second. Yes. And that changes, right? Because the anthem, depending on who's singing, I know Reba McEntire's singing. So if she holds a note an extra second long, that's going to affect us. And we have people right there next to it to tell us, hey, delay a second or speed up a second. And that's going to equate to me putting up a little bit of power or pulling it back. So it's very, very precise.
That's all fascinating to me. When you were growing up in Hartland, did you have dreams of being a jet pilot? How did you get into it? Tell everyone out there how you got it.
Yeah, so I actually, I never even thought it was a possibility. My dad took me to an air show. I think it was Muskegon Air Show back in the day. And I was there. I actually went, I was more interested in seeing the Army folks and looking at the guns and the trucks and the tanks. Yep. And all of a sudden I hear this rip-roaring, noise, and I look up, it's an F-15 flying around. And I kind of migrate towards the show line, watch it do its loops and its rolls and afterburner turns, and all of a sudden it lands. And that was really cool. But the thing that really blew my mind was the cockpit opened up and somebody got out. And that dawned on me, like, that's a real, like, somebody can do that. That's a real job. Yep. So after that, I just kind of became slightly obsessed with fighter jets and loved watching Top Gun growing up, right? Like all those things. So that all contributed.
That's amazing. All right. So growing up in Michigan, how big a Lions fan were you, and what was it like? I've asked a bunch of Lions fans that I've run into here. What was it like watching that game last week, knowing you were that close to flying over the Lions' first ever Super Bowl?
It hurt. It was tough. But as I know with the Lions, being a longtime Lions fan growing up, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. Never count them out or in. So I know after that first half, I didn't want to jinx anything. Yeah, I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious. So I didn't want to jinx it. So maybe I did something that did. But that would have been absolutely unbelievable to be flying over for the Lions, which I think could happen in the future. I'm really excited about the future of the Lions and where they're going. I love what Coach Campbell's done with the team, the players that they got. And I love the grit. Like that is such a important message for not just Detroiters and Michiganders, and it's really an important message for America to hear, right? Like if you come together and you work hard and you put in the extra hours and you have grit, you're going to be successful. That's the American dream. People say it's dead. I disagree. I think it's alive and well.
I think Dan would love to hear that. I know he's got a little bit of military background in his family, so I'm sure he'd love to hear that from you. Have you got over the loss yet? And yeah, I mean, it's not an easy thing being here, right? Seeing these other two teams that the Lions were, one they beat, one they were so close to beating. But regardless, I guess, fantastic season at the end of the day to watch, to be a part of as a fan.
Absolutely. It was an absolute joy to watch through this season. I don't think that's something I'll ever you get over. But, I played football in high school growing up, and you get the 24-hour rule, right? You get 24 hours to either celebrate or be bummed out, and then you're on to the next thing. And that's what I love about sports. I love about teams. I love about the Air Force and flying on this team, right? You are continuing to move forward, continuing to improve, and looking for ways to push yourself and challenge yourself to the next challenge.
All right, let's come full circle with this before we wrap up. You have your own team. How many other pilots, how many other jets are out there this week? Tell me about the rest of the team that you'll be flying with.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic team. So 135 members strong, right? You may just see the 6 airplanes, but it takes every single person on the 135-member team to be able to do what we do, from the maintainers that gas, fuel, fix the planes, which are aged, right? They're not right off the line anymore. So that takes a lot from our public affairs office to the front staff that takes care of the paperwork and logistics, right? It's a whole team effort. So we're fortunate to be able to put that on display, but we don't even show up to the fight if we don't have all those other folks working in unison and using teamwork to get us there.
And I know you said you're relatively new to this position, obviously been flying jets for a long time, but relatively new to this position. So as you sort of think about Sunday, is there any pressure in this? How do you sort of analyze the opportunity, I guess, for you, right? To put it in some football terms that people may understand, right? It's a unique experience for you to be here on this stage.
Absolutely. Of course, there's pressure, but just like anything, one of our mottos is no pressure, no diamonds. It's an old quote from Thomas Carlyle, who's like a 18th century philosopher. I love that quote because it shows that when you're under pressure, you can either crumble, right? Or you can use that to force yourself to get better, to sharpen yourself and create something really valuable. So yeah, there's pressure there, but we're really good at compartmentalizing, like a lot of other, elite sports teams and athletes that have to do that. You have to take it one play at a time, one game at a time. And we're doing the exact same thing in those fighter planes.
What sort of planes are you guys flying this weekend?
F-16s.
Okay. I've seen enough of these flyovers, be it at Super Bowls or other games, to know that you guys will be just fine doing this. It's a fantastic experience, obviously, to see, and anyone who's in the stadium is ready for it. It's one of those magical moments. So, Nathan, appreciate you joining us here on Freep.com. Everyone will be watching Sunday, and enjoy the game.
Thank you.